Okay, we have more people coming in from around the world, and we're excited to have you here. This is a big day for us here at Magstim. Every day is a big day for us here at Magstim and Welcome as we work to provide the kind of technology that is literally changing the world. Our mission here at Magstim and Welcome is to improve lives and improve patient care, improve research, and to continue to accelerate those things. So I'm looking here as more people are coming in, and we are live here, at least I am, along with my colleague, fantastic Joe Law from our Maxim North American office in Roseville, Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis. So give me a thumbs up in the note if you've heard of Minneapolis, Minnesota before, but this is where we're based here, and our main office is in the UK. All right, we got more joining in. I think we're gonna get started because I'm a stickler for time. Anyway, if you're just joining us, my name is Mark Savar. I'm the Global Communications Manager here at Walkeny. We're thrilled to death that you're here. We have exciting news. We have a new version of a device which is really legendary, I believe, and that's my editorial opinion in the world of transcranial magnetic stimulation. You know, Maxim is honored to be the first company to make the first commercially made research TMS device 35 years ago in our UK office headquarters, and we're continuing that legacy right now. So I'm honored to have Mr. John Leadham here, who's our VP of Research. We have Joe Law, and we have Ronnie Stola Campbell. Ronnie, oh, I see you're here. Good morning, Ronnie. How are you today?
Good morning, Mark. I'm doing well, thanks, and excited to share our news. How are you doing?
Fantastic, as always, and Ronnie's our CEO here at Welcony, so we're thrilled to have her here to give us a generalized info. Before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to be running the ship. Think of me as your airline captain pilot. So as things come up during the things, I'll be watching. I'm going to encourage everybody to please put questions in the Q&A, and that is going to be incredibly helpful for me to watch and things. We're going to do a Q&A section at the end, so please save your questions because I'm sure you're thinking of some very good ones. So your assignment in my neuroscience friends is to think of some good questions to ask us because we love to be challenged, don't we here? So with that, I am going to turn it over to Ronnie for a general welcome.
Lovely. Thank you, Mark. And thank you all for joining us today. Thank you especially to the researchers, clinicians, neuroscientists, and everyone working to study and treat the brain. We at Magstim and our parent company, Welcony, are committed and have been committed for over 35 years to supporting your work. We're so excited about today's webinar, and we're sharing insights on our new Magstim Rapid system. As some of you know, the last Rapid system was introduced back in 2007, so it's almost a 20-year-old machine. The Rapid remains the top cited TMS brain research technology, and now we've enhanced it for next generation neuromodulation. Excited to share it with you today. The Rapid has been cited in thousands of peer-reviewed studies and trusted by hospitals, clinics, and research institutions globally. Magstim Rapid TMS systems helped lay the foundation for all sorts of neurotech that today we take for granted. Non-invasive neuromodulation, so TMS for the clinical world, invasive neuromodulation. So the Rapid really is foundational to most neurotech study. Our Rapid supports TMS research for depression, OCD, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism, strokes, and hundreds of other healthcare and brain disorders. Today, John's going to share some of the research highlights for the new Rapid, and Joe Law will share an overview of how the system works. We've simplified the old Rapid and made it even more user-friendly. Before we get to the exciting part, though, I've got to read the statement to
Is
make
it
our
coming?
attorneys
Are you
happy.
going are you going to read it now, Ronnie? The
I,
fabulous legal state, the one that everybody I'm sure is tuned in to hear this today,
Here it
correct?
comes. I know you've all been waiting for this. Scientific content remains the intellectual property of the authors. This webinar is sponsored and organized by Magstim. However, Magstim does not engage in generating or editing scientific content presented. Inclusion in this webinar should not be taken as an endorsement of scientific findings by Magstim. Please note The use of Magstim devices or EGI devices for other than their cleared intended uses is considered investigational. Please refer to user manuals for details about system use. And with that, I now turn over to John Leadham, who's picking up the mic. He is our VP of Research Products and Business Development, and he'll lead you forward. Thank you
Thank you.
all so much.
Thank you, Ronnie, very much. That was amazing. Thanks for giving us that intro, and you're welcome. Lots going on in the world. And John Leadham is here.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm just going to pull up our PowerPoint. I'm hoping it is sharing. Maybe Mark, you can let me know
Yes,
if it's there.
yes,
Awesome.
sir. We can see it right here and now. And again, as John is going through this deck and other things, please add questions to the Q&A. And thank you, John, for sharing some highlights. You have been using this device for many years.
Yes, I have. Thanks for the introduction, everybody. My name is John Leadham, VP of Research Products in TMS. And I've been with Magstim since 2006, so just about the time that we were converting over from the initial Rapid to the Rapid 2 systems, which was a very nice transition. I'll give you a little bit of background on that in a minute. I am based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and do most of my work with the North American market, although I know many people hopefully on this that are from around the world as well. But that's where my focus has been. So if there's questions that are come out that are maybe too North American focused, please shoot me some questions and we'll answer your questions for wherever you are around the world as well. Just to my first slide here. So we're really excited today to have you on and that you're interested in seeing the progression of the Rapid. You can see here the three generations of the Rapid. On the left is the original Rapid. In the middle was the Rapid 2, which most of you are probably familiar with. And on the right is the new Rapid. We've gone back to just calling it the Rapid. And you can see it looks quite a bit different from a operational standpoint than the original systems. The first system, the old Rapid, whoops, sorry about that, double clicked. There we go. The old Rapid, this was the very first model that we came out with. You can see in the cart, there's a whole slew of wires in there, and in here you can see that there's 4 power modules, and on the top is basically the Rapid mainframe. With at that point in time, we used Windows-based laptops, and when I first came along with Magstim, I used to sell an awful lot of those laptops because they kept getting stolen, which I think was one of the reasons we moved to the UI that we had on the Rapid 2, amongst others. So this device was inspired by the desire to be able to replicate motor system studies that were done with electrical stimulation. We had already been doing some single pulse work and some paired pulse work, but people were asking us, hey, we'd like to do some repetitive stimulation. So this device was designed to be able to do repetitive stimulation at the time up to about 25 hertz, and then we added more and more modules, and we could get up to 100 hertz stimulation with this device. The problem is, as you can see, there's a ton of wires, and each one of those modules is quite heavy, so it became quite a feat to move this thing around. Again, this was controlled by a laptop. The initial was with Windows 95. For some of us, I remember well before Windows 95, but for many of you, you're going, what is Windows 95? The software was written over one weekend by our founder and one of the founders of TMS, Reza Jalanis. And back in those days, the regulatory environment was much less rigorous. And considering we were more a research device, we could program something up in one weekend and get it out to the market and get it tested. And this system was very well received in the market. Could do single pulse. It could do repetitive stimulation, as I said, up to 100 hertz. So our next device came out, and we looked at a few of the things that we didn't like about the previous machine. The fact that laptops were getting stolen all the time. We came up with a new user interface. It's a touch screen, an early touch screen model, not like the capacitive screens that we have today. And it was very simple to use and work through the workflow. It was our own operating system, so it didn't crash ever with Windows as old Windows systems used to do. It was very easy to use. And it from this point on, we made the electronics more compact. So in that previous slide, there was four power modules at the bottom. That would be equivalent to a super rapid. And in the bottom box here on this machine, you can see that, actually you can't see the back of it, but you can see that this can hold up to four of those power modules. So we were able to condense that. We were able to make the wiring much more streamlined, much neater product to work with as well. So research contributions, we were looking at this week, and there's been a nice graphic in the past of how many research studies Magstims have been involved with. And over that past 30 years, it's somewhere north of 10,000 peer-reviewed studies have been done with our devices, and about half of those have been done with rapids. And that actually adds up to more than all of our competitors combined that were shown in that graphic. So we're really proud of the fact that this has been well used and continues to be well used. We wanted to have a slide that popped up all the different areas of study on the screen, but the screen would have gone black because there was just so many of them. So, just as an overview, we use these things in motor control and in cognition and psychiatric disorders, just for basic understanding of neuroplasticity, pain, and on and on and on. I've even sold machines for theology departments, and I'll let you use your imagination as to what it might have been used for. Um, so why was the Rapid the go-to our TMS product for the last 30 years, effectively 33 years? Well, one was flexibility. We were able to do, like I said, single pulse, repetitive stimulation, uh, ITVS, CTVS. We were able to control that system externally if we wanted to. We were able to control it from our unit itself, and it was able to talk to all these different devices, which made it a central part of your labs out there. Um, to me, one of the most important things about our device is we had a patent, and this patent is now expired. But I believe we are still the only ones that use the energy recovery system in the way that we use it. So we have no pulse decay at high frequencies or theta burst. And if you think of each and every pulse as being a dosage of whatever treatment you're doing, this means that every single one of your pulses will be the same size. So you know exactly what your subject is receiving from a dosage. And to me, this is one of the very important parts of a Magstim Rapid. I talked a little bit about connectivity, but we do have that trigger in, trigger out capabilities to allow us to trigger in and out of EEG, TMS devices, accelerometers, you name it. You can connect it to whatever type of device that you want. And we have switches to allow for different triggers, whether you want to trigger on the peak or the rising edge or the falling edge, whatever. And we can connect to other navigation systems like the brain sight. We have done tons and tons of studies with the brain sight as a partner over the years. And it's been proven reliable over the years. We've been making these devices for 35 years, as Mark has said, the Rapids for about 33 years, and they're very reliable in the field. We have proven reliability. We have very few instances of failure of the device, and we do our best that when they do fail that we get you up and running, because we know that your studies need to continue and you can't have long delays in there. Another thing about the Rapid line is we do have this broad selection of coils that you can use in your research. So what did our customers tell us? I can remember dating myself here, but I started just before the new Rapid 2 came out. In about 2011-12, we got together with it was a Society for Neuroscience in Washington, D.C., I think. I remember very well. And we had all these key opinion leaders sitting around a table, and we said, well, what would you like different? And the conversation went on for about 3 hours. And at the end of the day, they pretty much liked what we had. Just a few little tweaks, which we put into the Rapid 2 at the time, and we have implemented into the new Rapid. But more recent years, what we've heard is people wanted a more streamlined and refreshed version of the Rapid. And here it is. As you can see, it's a smaller, more portable cart than we used to to use. This can be rolled around from room to room if need be. It easily fits through doors, onto elevators, you name it. We can move it pretty much anywhere within the building. I even throw it in the back of my SUV and take it from place to place for demonstrations when needed. So it's very, transportable in that sense. We've got a great arm on that device so that we can position the cooled coil in this case on the target, and you can see the screen is a nice screen. It's 15.6-inch diagonal across there, capacitive touch screen, Windows controlled, so very easy to use. And Joe's going to run you through the software a little bit later, so I won't take that away from Joe, because that's kind of fun for him to show that. But that capacitive touchscreen monitor is something we've been asking for a long time. If you've had an old Rapid 2, you know that those screens could get challenging over time. And this is a much better solution, a much larger screen. It shows the EMG data so nicely, and the interface is very clear and easy to use. Many of you are used to the little trigger boxes we had on the back of the device. We've now integrated that into the device itself, and it is controlled by software. So right on your screen, Joe will show you this. There's ways that you can control all the same trigger features that we had in our current system with that box on the back, but now you can do it within software. So just one less thing to hook wires to and have issues about. Windows operating system now for easier integration to other products out on the market. The new UI software now has subject data management in it. So when you first go in, you can enter in a subject's name or code, and you can keep track of all MTs that you do with that. Patient, you can keep track of what protocols were done with that patient. So we think this will help, maybe streamline the data management side of our customers' research out there. We have a new EMG amplifier. It looks the same, but inside is a new amplifier. It's got a higher sampling rate. It's got better filter capabilities as well, and we have better software on the device itself to display the waveforms. And we also now have a 0.5 hertz low frequency option, and in fact this may go down to 0.1 hertz in certain programs. So instead of just going down to 1 hertz, you can take this down even lower if you want to control it internally. Externally, you could always control that frequency, but now we've built that in. And the nice thing about this is all of the coils that you're able to use with your current Rapid, you can use on this Rapid, so we've got total backward compatibility there, so you're not needing to go out and buy a whole lot of new coils to use our new system. For our US friends, who we always have to require an IRB to ship a +1, and also for the trigger in out, no longer have to do that. The +1 has been included in in our clearance with the FDA, so no need anymore for getting your order and having to wait a month to get your IRB in place to ship it. That's all ready to go. And likewise for the coils, there's many more IRB approved coils with the system than what we used to have. And I think that's really the end of what we had to show you on this device.
Fantastic, fantastic, John. Very, very much appreciated. Huge background, and I want to back up what you said before. I've been here for a number of years, and I've moved a number of Rapids over the years, and it is a rock solid machine, is it now? So you can move it between different things. But I appreciate your time, and here to talk even more about rock solid machines is Mr. Joe Law. Joe, welcome to today's webinar about the Magstim Rapid. We're excited you can share insights on the screen and the system itself.
Of course. Thank you very much, Mark. Good morning or good afternoon, all depending on where you are in the world. Again, my name is Joe, the lead service and support engineer for North America. And today I've got the pleasure of demoing and providing the overview of the actual system itself, the Rapid device. So first of all, what I'll do is a brief hardware overview and look at some of the things that John discussed on his PowerPoint. So for example, this cart and arm. This arm comes with the cart. It allows you to place the coil in any sort of position you'd like. It has 3 locking mechanisms that are all controlled by one adjustment. And then nice as well is you have a fine-tune adjustment to change your rotation and certain tilts as well without having to do a full adjustment. The arm is able to be swapped from either side of the cart as well, depending on which location you want your subject to be. Finally, on the hardware side of things, John touched base on this. This is the new MEP pod. Like John said, it looks identical to the previous one, but it does have upgraded hardware within it, provides much higher sampling rates. And I'll show you that during the actual on-screen demo. Again, you can see this screen here, completely adjustable. You can move it, it tilts any way you would like. It also has some PC options in the back of it, such as USB, Ethernet, that kind of thing. So I'm going to switch my screen to this behind me so you can see the UI interface a little bit better. So we can see the kind of main menu of the device. So what I'll do first is we'll start off on the single pulse in the top left. So if I click on this, this will give you a good overview of actually how the single pulse screen looks. You can see you have the channel 1 and channel 2 of the EMG feature there. We actually have the ability to export any of your readings as well. If you do want to take them off the device, you can do that. That's not a problem. You can also individually look at each EMG channel or both as a whole. On the right-hand side here, you can see the main controls of the single pulse mode, the intensity. A nice little feature here you might like is we've added additional controls to those intensities. You can see the plus and minus signs on the screen. You can go up in 5s, you can even go up in 1s with the tops, and you can also use the entire wheel itself to do some larger movements with regards to the intensity. And the triggering here, John highlighted this a little bit in his overview, is this is the triggering option. You can change the triggering. So for example, you can change the polarity of the pulse, triggering out in and out. You can also change the length and the pulse type. You still have the ability to do the charge delays on this system. And then down the bottom here, you have your main controls. So again, to arm the system, you press the orange button. The system is now charged up. You can press the green button to actually deliver the pulse. And again, what you'll notice is every time I fire that pulse, you can see those EMG readings display on the screen. Again, I don't actually have any EMGs connected at the moment, but just to give you an idea of how that looks, I can even click on those individual channels and look at those individual MEP readings. Okay, disarm the system with a red button. And then at the top here, this is going to be just your coil control, feedback control. So for example, it'll tell you what coil is connected. It shows you what the current temperature of that coil is and currently what the system status is. I've disarmed it, so it's currently in a stop mode. Okay, let's go back to the main menu and we'll jump into the repetitive mode. So again, you can add your own complete custom protocols here. Every parameter is adjustable. You can use the standard mode, you can even use the burst mode, and again, all of these parameters are adjustable. Again, you have that charge delay feature, and you also have those triggering adjustments. Something nice about this system now is there is storage within the system, a little bit better than the previous models. So what you'll notice is if I already have a protocol set up in the system that I want to use, instead of having to manually input those protocols every time, I can click on the load feature in the top right-hand side. It allows me to select any of the preloaded protocols that I've placed in here. So for example, if I just click on one of these and press load, you'll notice that what happens is all of these parameters now change to the pre-saved protocol that I have in here. You can also save directly from this screen. So if you do input a custom protocol in here, you can click the save protocol and you can add it to your list so you haven't got to keep putting in those parameters every time. Okay, if I go backwards, sessions. So if I click in sessions in the top right, this is a nice feature. It allows you to combine an abundance of protocols. So for example, on the left here, you can see my pre-saved protocols. This is the list that I'm able to pick from. On the right-hand side, it allows me to add any of those to the combined treatment summary. So for example, if I wanted to do back-to-back OCD protocols, I could just click as many as I want in here, and this is my combined treatment. For example, I can click on any of these in any kind of order. It allows me to select those as a combined treatment template. Just to give you an example of how that works, if I go into load sessions, it actually allows me to load any previous combined treatments that I've done prior. I created one earlier, which is just all of the protocols. If I click load, It allows me to load those protocols in. If I click continue, it takes me through to what is the repetitive screen essentially, but you've got this addition of all my combined treatments. So what it allows me to do is run those protocols back to back. So again, really nice option to have. Again, you still have all those other options, for example, charge delay and the triggering settings, etc. So that is sessions. So those are kind of your three main controls of the device. I do want to discuss data management quickly. So for example, data management. You've got three things you can add to this system. So you can actually add subjects to this device. So if I click on subjects, you can see I've already put some subjects in here. I put myself and somebody called James Thomas into the device. You can also add your own by clicking new subjects. What this allows you to do is if I activate myself, you notice that Joe Law becomes active in the top right, and it records certain data when this subject is activated. So it'll record, for example, current MT. If I just click edit, you can see here my previous MT and the last assessments. It'll also show what protocols and sessions have been recorded on that device. You can also make notes in there as well. If I go back, I'll deactivate that. Protocols, again, kind of similar to what we've seen just now. This is anytime you want to save a protocol and add it as a default protocol in your system, you can do it in here. So for example, you can see these are ones I've already loaded to my device: OCD, ITBS, 19-minute and a 37-minute treatment. If, for example, I click on new protocol in the top right, this allows me to add all of those parameters into the device, give it a name, and add it to that protocol list. The benefit of that is if I'm either in repetitive mode or I'm in session mode, those defaulted protocols will be there for me to select. I don't have to keep inputting those parameters every single time. Lastly, sessions, very similar screen, but what this allows you to do is instead of just going into sessions and having to manually click every protocol you want to add to that session, this is where you can make your own. So for example, if I click on new session, it allows me to add any of those combined treatments, very much like the session screen, but I can save this to my system, and it'll allow me to just load that session every single time. So not only can I default protocols into this device, I can also preload combined treatments or sessions into this device as well. So you haven't got to keep adding those every single time. But that is it. That's a good overview of the main features of the device and the differences. I will pass you back to Mark, and maybe we can jump into some questions about this if I haven't covered anything.
Fantastic, Joe. Thank you for the overview, and thank you for sharing the screen. It's great for us to see the on-screen capabilities of this machine. You know, for years, people were using this in a different format, but people need to know that what they were doing before can still be done. It's just a different format, which takes us into a more modern era, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Absolutely. So I think Mr. John Leadham is here with me. Mr. Leadham, we have had some questions that have come in just now, and I have had some advanced questions that were sent prior to today's webinar. And if you can help me go through these, because as much as I know, I think I know everything in marketing, I don't know everything. So I appreciate both of your insights on this. So John, let's start. So there's a question about is there a double blind function for the new Rapid? And is there a double blind coil available? And I think this is something in development, correct?
Yeah, let me address that. So it's funny. We get varying feedback on our sham coils. I've had people say that the air film sham coil is the best sham they've ever used, and I've had people that don't like it so much. So we have addressed that with our Horizon line. We have a very clever design with the Horizon line that uses two adapters that are blinded so that we can uh, blind the user and the patient, of course, from what they're seeing. We are looking at similar capabilities for the Rapid series as well. In fact, we do have a new development platform, I guess, for lack of a better word, that is looking at new coils, designing new coils, and that has already begun, and we are working our way towards some really clever new designs of coils that people will love when they get out there. Uh, but we wanted to make sure that you could use what you have now when we release this product. So that's why at the moment it's still our rapid and our airfilm coil and our sham airfilm coil. So hopefully that's good enough in the short term, but we will address that in the longer term for sure.
Fantastic. And if people do have questions later, please just email marketing@magstim.com and we will be able to address those later. I have a question for Joe Law, and the question is, are the coil pins, are they like the previous Rapid 2, or are they more like the Horizon on the coil pins, Joe Law?
Yeah, great question. It's still the same connector. Again, if we change that connector, it's going to limit the usage of people using their current coil. So it is the same connector. We have had additional changes to the actual pins themselves for durability and longevity. But the connector is the same. It is not a Horizon connector. It is still a Rapid connector, allowing you to use those previous coils.
Great. Great question. Thank you. Or great answer. Question came in. The question that came in before, it said, I have a very busy lab, and I'll let either one of you answer this. How easy or hard is it for me to train my lab team to operate this newer version of the system, right? I mean, how does that apply, I guess, on a research level?
Yeah, I can touch to that. Typically, at least in North America, what I do, and I'm sure our distributors around the world do the same thing. What we do in North America, we get your order, we ship out the device. One of our reps comes out in Canada. In that case, it's me. I come out, I set up your device, and then we spend the rest of the day training. And if you're using navigation, quite often the navigation team from the other company and I show up at the same time, and we get everybody trained up. It takes about a half a day to get everybody trained up on a Rapid. It's very easy to use, and usually after about 2 hours, people are most likely wanting me to go away, but I try and make sure everybody's trained before I leave.
John, if I may jump in here, I will share that I was in Wales, which is where we have our Center of Excellence for Innovation. Last week, I got to play with the new Rapid, and I'm a bioengineer, but I am not a big time TMS user by any means. And the new Rapid, easily understood, so nice to manipulate the dials, the screen. I love it. I know there are machines on the market that still look like our version 1. This is nothing like that. So if you've got postdocs or undergrads coming in taking a neuroscience class, they will be able to use the new Rapid in no time at all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ronnie, for those insights. And Ronnie mentioned she was in Wales, and I want to reiterate that we're unique in the landscape of TMS. We are our own manufacturer. We've been doing this for 35 plus years in Wales. So everything that we actually push through from our TMS research and clinical front is actually handcrafted in Wales. Okay, we had a question that came in yesterday. It said, how bright is the touch screen? Sometimes, I'm trying to read the writing. Sometimes it's hard for me to see screens in my lab. Can you wipe and clean the screen with normal cleaner? Do I need to disinfect? I think it's a good question. It's from like a lab application point. I'll throw this out to anybody who wants to answer this.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in here. Yeah, the screen is extremely bright. It's much brighter than the previous version. You can compare it to something like an iPad or a tablet, or even a laptop screen. So it is bright. Cleaning wise, we usually recommend 70% isopropyl alcohol. That will actually ensure that it's disinfected as well. So again, yeah, you can clean it just like an ordinary screen. That's not a problem. And it is very bright.
Fantastic. Somebody had a question about is the system able to process multiple studies at once? And I believe it is, and you can, to a degree, I think you can do back-to-back studies, correct?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by multiple studies at once. We're only able to stimulate in one target at one time. But yes, back to back, no problem. Actually the air film coil had several modifications over the years and is quite powerful compared to the original airfilm coils, but this version of the airfilm coil is effectively the same as what we use in our clinical device and can run subjects back to back to back. Yeah.
Great,
I'm
great. Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Ronnie.
No, sorry, Mark. I was just going to chime in and say I'm not sure if this answers the question, but again, when I was in Wales playing with the machine last week, you are able to create your own protocol and you can combine one existing protocol with another existing protocol and literally run them back to back under your new experimental protocol. So yes, we can definitely combine protocols.
Great. We have sort of a backup question on that literally just came in a couple minutes ago, and they asked, is it like the previous Rapid 2 system? Can we use our coils for as many pulses that we want, or do we have to change it after 5 to 10 years after a specific amount of pulses? So I'll defer to anybody in the team who wants to answer that one.
Yeah, I can answer the question. Yeah, there's again, if there's no metrics in place that's going to prevent your coil from working, so even after 5 to 10 years, there's nothing on the system that's going to prevent you from doing that. We do have our manufacturer's recommendations, which I do recommend that you follow. But again, the machine does not have control over that.
Fantastic, fantastic. We did have some questions that came in yesterday about different studies and various points. Somebody asked generally if they can export data from studies, which I think is a great question. And then somebody else literally just asked a little bit ago if they can export MEPs. And so I guess, Joe, if you want to answer that one.
Yeah, great question. Just to show you, for example, if you're looking to export MEPs, for example, you can use the export button in the top left. I haven't got a USB plugged in, so there's going to be an issue with exporting at the moment. But again, you just connect your USB and you can export any of your MEPs to an external device. That is the same for your sessions as well. You can certainly do that. So yeah, you can export data from the device.
Fantastic. We had a software question that came in 2 days ago, and they are asking about how, I guess, what makes the software user friendly. And having spent some time with this, I can tell you that it's pretty much just touch and start and get going, correct? And it's not a very scientific term, but I mean, it is user friendly in the sense that you can actually do hands-on pretty quick, right, Joe?
Spot on. As soon as you turn the system on, Mark, it comes up with that main menu. Everything's really clearly message on there. Whether you want to do, single pulse, repetitive mode, or sessions, everything is clearly labeled, and it's very much touch and go. So yeah, it's very user friendly.
Fantastic. Somebody had asked a question yesterday. They asked, what is a biphasic configuration and when would that be useful for different studies? And maybe, John, you want to answer that one about a biphasic configuration?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's probably a long answer to this. The 202 and the paired pulse bistim system are monophasic pulses with us. But in order to and maybe this is a better question for an engineer, and Joe may have a better explanation than I do, but with a biphasic pulse, it allows us to recover the energy that is used to create that pulse and then quickly put that energy back into the system so that we can stimulate at 20, 30, 40 theta burst frequencies. It's just a way for us to recover that energy and have large volumes of pulses at high frequencies. The electronics behind that, I would have to pass on to an engineer, but that is the reason for it.
Great, fantastic. And I know that in this webinar, we have people in both research and sort of clinical areas on this, and we're honored and appreciate your time here. We have had some people who are using some of our other systems, and a question that came in about that they have a Horizon 3 system and they wanted to know the difference between a Horizon 3 and a Rapid system. And I can say generally the Rapid system is more research focused. And then the Horizon 3 system is a little more clinical. But John, I'll let you elaborate on that.
Yeah, so well, Effectively, the Horizon system is designed as a clinical device, so the flexibility within the device is much more controlled, so that you can't get yourself into, you know, the snowball rolling quickly and then things getting out of control while you're doing things. It is designed to be very safe and very easy to use, you know, step by step by step. And it has to be able to do that, you know, 16, 30 patients a day, time after time after time, without overheating, without breaking down. So it's a very, very robust system. The Rapid, uh, as I said earlier, is very robust, but it's not designed to do 32 patients a day. It's, you know, typically in research you're doing less patients, and it's a much more open architecture so that you can control the system externally from another program if you want. You can trigger in data from I'm trying to think of an example. You know, say you were wearing a foot switch, and every time you planted your heel, it sends a signal up to the TMS machine, and it wants to wait 200 milliseconds before it stimulates an area of the brain to give you a perturbation, so that you're getting some sort of impact on your gait. So you know you can do things like that with a Rapid very easily. So extremely flexible and less expensive than the Horizon as well.
Well, there you go. And you can easily roll it between different labs at your different rooms. Um, we had a question about how easy is the customization of pulse delivery design would be. Can we use design external control of the pulse delivery? It's a pretty technical question. So how easy is the customization of pulse delivery design, and can we design external control of a pulse delivery? If I
Yes.
understand it, it's the app, you know, the alteration and customization of that actual part of the pulse, is
Yeah,
my reading.
effectively, I kind of answered that in my last answer in a roundabout way. But yes, you can control the system externally. We require a waiver to be signed because, you know, even though you should be within our safety protocols and the machine shouldn't do things, we do put a waiver there just in case you decide that you want to do something that may not fit within those safety areas. Uh, so that's really the only thing that prevents you from doing it. And once you sign that waiver, we flip a switch, basically internal software, and it'll let you control that externally. And you can work within the same parameters of the system. So you can go from zero point 0.1 hertz all the way up to 100 hertz. You can run theta burst. Um, you know, basically, you can run session modes, whatever you want. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. We had a question that came in asking about lead times on this system, and is this system being produced now, or are we months out on delivery? I believe we are ready now, correct, John?
I believe so. We're ready to go and watch this space for some promotions that we'll be coming out with shortly as well.
Fantastic. We are kind of wrapping up. I'm going to land the airplane here pretty soon because I want to make sure people are aware that I want to keep you on time. If you have additional questions, and there were some technical questions that have come in, and I'll be reaching out to you directly to answer those more technical questions because we don't have a lot of time to cover everything today. This was designed to give you an overview of the system and share our enthusiasm for this new device, which is an old device, but still a brand new iteration of something that has been tested and trusted for many, many years. So with that, I think I will start to wrap things up and say thank you for everyone joining today. Ronnie, do you have any closing thoughts today?
No, just please let us know always what we can do to help you push the boundaries of your research because our R&D team, our innovation team are always ready to try the next challenge. And as John alluded to, please be on the lookout. We've got a very, very nice promotion coming up for those of you who have an existing research machine that you may want to trade out for a new Rapid, and also some excitement for coils in the future as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Mark, John,
Thank you.
as
Thank
always,
you.
thank you. Joe, as always, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
parting words from the two of you.
Yeah, from me, thanks everybody for joining. Again, I run the service team here and the support team. So if you need any technical support, any servicing on your device, any maintenance, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Again, apologies, I am North America, but we do have a fantastic service team in the rest of the world as well. So thanks for joining today, and that's all from me.
I don't have too
Fantastic.
much to add other than for the past 20 years, it's been a real thrill to be a part of your research and just be, feel like we help contribute in a little bit of a way. And it's been fun to see, man, over 20 years, all you people that have been using our machines have done some really cool stuff. And I'm really excited to see it even accelerate further. So
Fantastic.
let's
Thank you.
go.
Thank you,
Yeah.
John, and thank you everybody. From me, Mark, in the marketing department, I also want to throw in one quick little note that we also have an entire division that handles high density EEG as well, and we're looking at new iterations of integrating EEG, HDEEG, and TMS protocols. So please stay tuned and reach out directly with any questions on all the research fronts.